Hey guys, it's Karynjean, and I'm starting this video over because I just knocked my water bottle over everything. So, how's your day going? Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh my gosh, I need more room. Oh, look, there's still water here. Okay. Honestly. So, hi. Hi. What I'm doing, what I'm trying to do here is play around with my 6x6 paper pads, right? Having worked on the folios, or 4 folios, which are in a pile over here, gave me the idea of, well, what can I do with my 6x6 paper pads? I don't have, well, I don't know. I guess I might have like fair few, maybe 10, maybe a little more. And pads like this, I got from Love Nicole pads. I got when AC Moore was going out of business, when the COVID first hit. So things were like, I mean, they were giving the store, they literally were giving the store away. Seriously. So what I did was, and this is, it's kind of like a Forgotten Friends, like Gail Augustinelli says. Well, not that one. I don't know what I would do with that. But like, isn't that pretty? Look at that. That's beautiful. And these here, look how well they coordinate. They all came from this one paper pad. Aren't they gorgeous? They came from this one. But I also have this one. Also Love Nicole, Bouquet of Color. And like, look at that. That also coordinates with those. So I'm going to show you 2 things that I've made here. I made this little wallet, and we are going to, wallet, whatever, pocket, not quite sure what you would call it. We're going to do this together, except I'm going to change it a little bit because I want, this is just a simple V gusset where the gusset is folded in half, just to give it a little give. But I want the M gusset like you'll find on a coin envelope, which will give that more room in there. And another one I did was, this uses, it's because I don't know what I'm doing about my closure. This uses 2 pieces, right? 2 pieces of the paper, 4x6. And one way to do this, and I know that Amber over on Lyric Lover Crafts has done this, and also Casey Dahman has done this. I think, Corey Dahman, I'm sorry, Corey Dahman. Corey's video is older than Amber's is, and you've seen me do them too. They're just really easy. You take one 4x6, you score it at the 2 inches, and you fold that over, and then you cut the other one down. One 6x6. You score it at 2 inches, so it becomes a 4x6 with a 2-inch overlap. And you take the other one and you cut it down to 4x6. And then you glue it down there, and then it just becomes a tiny little booklet, 4x6 booklet. When you cut this off, you can then have this to glue down in here. You've seen me make them. Okay. So kind of like that, but different. I did not cut off. I scored them both down at the 2-inch mark, but I didn't cut the one off. What I did was I then overlapped it, right, where that 2-inch one is. I overlapped it and glued it down. And then I left this here instead of cutting it off to make it more like a little folio. And then I got some paper and I sewed it in, right? Just like we would a little journal. Sewed it in over here like the folios as opposed to over here. And then we have a pocket. We could put a pocket here. I just like having this little flap here for some reason. And I left this out, so just like I did with the folios, we could put a little charm there. And this is what I did for closure on this one. I reinforced it with some scrap paper, put an eyelet in, got some twine to, you can wrap it around. You can do opposites. See that string right there till I put something on it. You could do something like that, except you could do however you want, any kind of closure you want, right? So that's that. But what I want to do first here is I want to work on that little wallet type thing. So I need to trim this off, the top of this off. Get that little, whoops, get that little piece off. I'm not going to fuss too much about it because and then I need to take an inch off of it. So now it's about 6 by 6, but in my journals, my standard size sheet is 8.5 by, right? It's 8.5 by 11. So we have 8.5 by 5.5, right? 8.5 by 8. Yeah. So, I don't know. Remember the water falling. I need a root canal. I also need to call in a plumber. It's just, yeah, it's one of those. So I'm going to cut off an inch here, just that if I want to attach it into, on a journal page, it'll fit. That's what I'm doing there. Now, you see, this is directional. So what I want to do here is, I want this back piece. I don't want the front piece to be all the way up to the back piece, right? Which is fine. This is 6 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score it at, hopefully this will work if I remember my measurements. I'm going to score it at 2 inches so that we still have the depth of the pocket, 2 inches. And then I'm going to score it at 4.5 inches. Those are the only 2 scores marks I'm making. Right? And so it's going to be folded up like this and folded down like this. And then that is our little flap. And of course, you know, you could just simply glue this down, boom, right? Like that. It would be a tuck spot and a little hidden pocket like that. Or this one here, because this is heavy. This is kind of heavy cardstock. So that's why I first put in this V gusset, just a simple little strip that was folded in half just to give it a little bit more give. This one, I'm going to do the M gusset or the W gusset, depending upon which way you like it. More like we do with the coin envelopes so that it has more give, right? Now, this is 2 inches. So what I'm going to do here, simply because I don't feel like pulling the rotary over, I am going to score it. It's at 2 inches. So we're going to score 2 inches and 4 inches, right? But then I'm going to trim it, whoops, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a full 2 inches right there. There we go. And that now these are going to be scored. Oh, that was the wrong. That was the wrong scrap paper. Let's do that again, shall we? 2 inches and 4 inches. Okay. There. There we go. And these are going to go here. I'm going to cut it down a little bit more. More like maybe 1.5 inches or so, because it does not necessarily need to come to the full top and the full bottom. Okay. And now it's 1 inch wide, so we're going to score it every 1/4 inch. We're going to score it at 1/4 inch. This is the one I have problems with, making sure that it stays put when I can get it in there. 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch, right? We need those 3 score lines in order to make that fold. And then the same with this one. We're going to do it at 1/4 inch. Sorry if you're not seeing this, because I have to make sure it's snug in there. 1/4 inch. Or you could just flip it around too. 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch. Like so. I love this little mini scoreboard. It's awesome. And then I'm just doing this. So because we want the pretty side facing out, we're just fan folding it. Fan folding or accordion fold. Not quite sure how you want to call it. Just like that. So we're folding it in half with the pretty side out, and then we're folding the other two sides up, like so, okay? And there's your W or your M, depending upon what you want to call it. Now we're going to glue it to, make sure, and this is where sometimes I get confused, we're going to glue it to the bottom front flap. So I'm going to take my little art glitter glue, and we're going to, and excuse me if my head's getting in the way, I want to get the edge of this as close to the edge of the paper as possible, right? Just like that. And press it down. Burnish it down with our fingers a little bit. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. It's all pretty self-explanatory. And we're going to do it over here. Now, just be careful, because I'm going to tell you what I've done in the past is I wasn't paying attention and I was gluing these to the top flap, and obviously that's not going to work at all. And I'm like, why does this not? Oh, because I screwed it up, right? Okay, and now this is how I find it works best for me. I'll put some art glitter glue there. You could also use double-sided adhesive if you want. But because it's fan folded, I hold it down. This is how I do it. I hold it down like this. You see I'm grabbing down the fans there, so just that one edge is still up, because, you know, I really don't want to get glue on my fingers. And so that's how I just get it started, just like that. And then Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Boom. And now art glitter glue grabs pretty quickly. So let's just give it a mow. Okay? And now I have a little bit more room to get in there as opposed to here, which, because this paper is heavy cardstock, it's a little bit hard to get in. I put a tab there. I use my tab punch to put a tab there, trying to just, you know, messing around, figuring things out. And I did notch this one because I folded it all the way up to the top, but this one is not up to the top. So it gives you a little bit more room. And there you have it. Now, you could do, obviously, you could decorate it any way you want. This is really pretty. What you can do is, like this one, I think probably what I'll do is I will, because I have this scrap piece of twine here. See, this is where all the pretty twine comes into play. I am going to, let's just do that. Plop some twine there down in the glue. Now, the thing with this is that if I want to make this, if I'm going to put this on a page in the journal, glue it down, and also have it a back pocket. Glue's not quite grabbing. What also I'm going to need to do is, in order for things to be able to move smoothly in and out, is I'm going to take some micropore tape here, which is just simply paper surgical tape. It's called micropore on the inside, micropore 3M. And I am going to tape it down. This will also help, come on, to right there. Also help keep that twine in place. And see, it's almost transparent. It really does fade into the background depending upon how you're using it, right? Like so. And then this can be tied. I'm actually just going to put a knot on the end of the twine so that it doesn't come unraveled, as twine is wont to do. And then when it's in the journal, and because it is heavy cardstock, it can handle the business of you know, having that knotted around it. Or you could just put it in directly, or you can even make this a paper clip, right? You could mount a paper clip on the back of it, and this could be a paper clip in the book. And in order to mount a paper clip on the back of it, I'm not going to do it, but I'll show you how to do it. Where are my paper clips here? Here are my paper clips. Again, with the paper clips and I don't know how. You put them in a jar and they just don't like to be alone. They got to be kissing cousins of somebody. So, you could do a hidden paper clip, and you could do like with, I don't think these circle punches are large enough. Or here we have just 2 scrap pieces. You don't want it too heavy. And you can simply just like glue this down there and have that exposed, or you can just wrap it in, here we go. See, this is the one I made the boo-boo on. You can wrap this like so, right? And glue it down that way, and then just glue this onto the back of, you'd have to cut it down because obviously this is just, you know, you have a practically way too much give there. And then that becomes the paper clip, and it becomes a paper clip to put in a book. And of course, knowing me, you know I want to round these corners, round the corners. Where's my little corner chomper? Here it is. So this is one thing we can do. There we go. There. So this is one thing we can do with a 6x6 paper. Remember, you're going to cut off 1 inch on the side, and that's what you're going to use for the gussets, right? Right, like that. And it's the same paper, so it's not going to look pizarro, as the kids would say. Or maybe they don't say that anymore. We said that as kids. So there's one. Now, you could also do this same thing, like out of a 8x8 or a 12x12. And, you know, you would do more, maybe a couple of scores on the bottom if you want like a coupon wallet or something, right? Or even just for like little bits of ephemera to store. So there's that. So let's see what else. Let's see what else we can do. Like, see how pretty these are? So like this one, let's score these. These are 6x6. Let's score them. Well, let's make sure, because when I trim them down, sometimes I don't trim them all the right way. Nope, that's fine. Something's here. So we're going to score this at 2 inches. Score this at 2 inches. We're going to score this one at 2 inches. All right. We're going to fold that over, and we're going to fold that over. Now, this is very, very pretty. We can glue it on the outside like that, right? To have it all nice. And see, that would be the flap. Or like I did, we would have the flap in like that. You could put it on the outside, or we could put it on the inside to make sure that it's all nice and butted up amongst itself. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to get a piece of paper down to protect my surface. Ooh. There we go. And I said we were going to butt it up this way. So now you can score this, like you could do a double score here if you want, 1/8 of an inch apart. I did that for this one here, the prototype, but I'm not sure it's really necessary. It all depends on how much paper you plan on putting in it, right? So there's that. Boom. As simple as that. Now, and then I used scraps to cover up the inside with it, right? Let's get back here. This was a scrap of cardstock. This is a scrap of cardstock. What I did not do was leave it open to make it a pocket, but that is something I'll do here on this one. Also, because this is the prototype and I was doing a couple different score lines, I just reinforced this with just some of this tape here, because that would be a, it was becoming a weak spot because of the way I was, you know, working prototype again. So, you know, yeah. So what we can do here is, like, these are obviously not the right size for this book, but we can cut the book down and make them the right size if we so desire. Why don't we do, no, we won't do that. So here is some scrap paper that kind of goes, kind of doesn't. We can, I'm going to put it right here. So I need it at 6 inches so it can have a little pocket. Actually, if we do it at 6.5 inches, we can gusset it a little bit. We could do a little self-gusseted pocket here. Let's see what we got. 6.5 inches. Okay. And so we're going to score it at, we need 6 inches. So that's a 1/4 inch on either side. So we could do a 1/4 inch here. Oh, that was 1/2 inch. Okay. Let's try that again, shall we? Let's do a 1/4 inch here. And we'll fold that under. Well, not quite paying attention, was I? But actually that's a good size right there. I think it might need to be trimmed. I'm going to trim it just a hair. Let's open it up and trim it just a hair. It's about a 1/4 of an inch. And also, because we're not doing a gusset on the bottom, I'm just going to trim them in just a little bit. Like so. Now also, what I want to do is I do want to reinforce this fold, because this is paper, and although it is heavy cardstock, it can rip. It can rip easily. So I just want to reinforce that a little bit. And the tape I used for that one was this. I got this at Michael's Creatology. And I'm just going to use the same one. pink. Let's hope I can do it straight. You never know with me. Actually, you do know with me. I can't do anything. Ugh. Oh, see, it already... Right, like that. Let's see if we can get it there. There. Just to reinforce that a little bit, that fold. And we could do the same to this one. We could use micropore, and then we can cover it with washi. We could use washi tape. Not sure that... Oof, that's a directional washi. I could use a gridded washi, but no. Just taking a look at my different washi's here. Because it's like a peachy, orangey kind of... Oh, okay, we can use this one. Let's use this one. Just to give it a little reinforcement. Now this one should be easier for me to keep straight. I mean, it is gridded after all, right? You would think I would be able to. Whoops. Oh, there, I think. There. Okay. And that's just to reinforce, again, just to reinforce that fold. And you know me in corners, chompa chompa. And chompa chompa. Now here, I might want to, excuse you peoples, excuse you all. I'm going to want to put a little bit of a notch here. Actually, it's supposed to be this way. I'm going to put a little bit of a notch here. And actually looking at it, I'm glad it's that way. The darker is over here and the lighter is over here, so they blend better. It blends better. Okay, so I'm going to throw some art glitter glue down on that and also down here. And again, you could use double-sided adhesive tape, which the pro about using double-sided adhesive tape is that it is not going to smear, right? It won't smear and seep out and perhaps glue the pocket closed, is what I'm saying. Okay. So, and there we have just a little gusset on top there, just to make it a little bit easier to get in and out of, but not gusseted on the bottom. Just like that. And there. Now, and what we could do is also, let's take a look and see. We can, here we go. I'm going to place this large piece here, down here, right? And we could cover that with a piece of paper or, you know, if we want. And then I'm going to get one of my smaller magnets. Oh, I hope I have more of these. Now, because these are very wafer thin, because I'm using this here piece of tin or whatever it's made out of, the roofing nail thing, it doesn't matter if your magnet is a positive or a negative. It is going to stick either way. I need to make sure I have more of those. If not, I need to order them. Okay, so, and this is a sticker, but of course I don't necessarily trust the stickness that is the stick of the magnet, but we shall see. So, place it there. Let go of my finger, please. There. There. Needs to catch. That needs to catch. Now, like I said, you can cover these. Looks like doors, doesn't it? Looks like doorknobs. But I don't suggest you cover it with anything heavy. This is a wafer thin magnet, although it's pretty strong. You can cover it with paper if you want, but I wouldn't cover it with cardstock if you want to hide the magnet. Just like that. And I'm holding that down because that is not grabbing right there. Or it was grabbing, but I was trying to, there. Okay, and now, what else do we want? We can cover this. We could put a pocket here. We need paper. And for this one, I just might use white paper because it's easier for me to get there than it is to get over there. No, I actually have a few pages right here. So, I need this to be, this is 8.5, so I'm going to cut off 8.5. That would be, what am I cutting off? I need 2.5 inches. I need 2.5 inches. Cut off. And then it's 11. I need 4, maybe not 4. Let's do, because this is 4 inches wide, but I don't want the paper 4 inches because I need a little give. So I need the paper to be, instead of 8 inches, I need it to be 7.5 inches. This is 11. So I need to just cut off 7.5 to 7.5. Just do that and try to, instead of trying to reverse the math. There. Okay. And now we're just going to fold this in half. I don't know how many pages are here. Maybe 3. But this is 24-pound paper. Just like that. Because I use 24-pound paper. I don't like 20-pound paper. I think it's too flimsy. Just like that. Okay. And I'm just going to use this, which is the waxed thread, just to make it easy, because it's what I have on my desk. And get out a needle. And I don't need any special tools for this because this is just put it right there from the outside. And again, it's just going to be a simple 3, looks like I needed to cut a little bit off there, 3 pamphlet stitch. Come on. And this is another reason why I reinforced that little bend there, because I'm going to be sewing through it, right? Just like we reinforce our spines on our journals. And let's make sure we're all even Stevens. No idea what the etymology of that saying is. Oh, whoops. And down through the center. Let's not, there we go. I'm gonna Pull that one snug. Ah! There, pull it snug. But don't pull it. You don't want to start ripping things. And double knot one way. Double wrap, I should say. And double wrap the other way. And then what I'm seeing here is the paper is hanging out just a teeny tiny bit. And this is where I'm going to, this is where I'm going to cut it and ruin it. Just so you know. Because that's how I roll. Okay, there we go. Not so bad, not so bad. Oops. And so now we have this one. And I have the magnetic closure, so I don't have to fuss with all that. Now, you see how it's buckling a little bit here? That's because I only folded this. I did not do like a tiny little spine there. But there's not that much paper in here, so I'm really not going to worry about it. And this can be decorated just like any other journal, right? And we could throw a dangle down the side just like any other journal. And let's see what kind of scrap paper I have here that I can... Now, see, I can cover this. I can cover this in paper if I wanted to, which I'm not going to. Let's see what I have here. I have labels. I don't know if I want to use these or... These aren't the right colors. Where's my box? Here it is. Box, oh, vintage labels. I know I have another one of these around somewhere. Here we go. That'll work. Right there. Right there. I always like to put little, like, nameplates. Little nameplates. Just like that. Okay. And again, we can round these corners of the paper, which we might do because that might look nice. Why don't we do that? And I'm going to do that, let's see, on the 1/2 inch round. Whoops. I don't know why it's not... It's looking a little rough there. I guess this needs to be sharpened or something. I don't know. Let's try this again. Honestly, darn thing. But there, rounded paper, corners. And we could put a pocket there. We could put a pocket there with this, which is what we have right there. We can, if we get the big scissors. Well, no, we're not going to get the big scissors. We're gonna pull out the paper trimmer because hello, right? Yes, because hello. And we'll do 2.5 inches, but that might be too much. I might have to trim it down a little bit. Yeah, that's a little bit out of proportion. I'll do 2 inches. Oops. Hello. 2 inches. There. And we will do just a little bit here, not all the way down. A shallow thumb, a shallow notch as opposed to a larger notch. The pocket still is kind of deep. It still looks a little bit out of proportion to me. All right, let's take another little bit off of the bottom. Say, there. There we go. And I'm going to chomp this corner as well. And this one. Why not? Right there. Okay. And now we have a little pocket in the front. Right like that. And there we go. Now, you can, if you do craft fairs, these would make fabulous little things you can sell at craft fairs, right? You know, I've charged that much. And depending upon how you decorate them, how much money and time you invest in making them. This is still pulling away here. I'm wondering if I should hit it with some Fabrifix instead. It doesn't seem to want to glue onto where the bit where the tape is. I wonder, the tape has some kind of coating on it, so that's probably it. If this doesn't grab, then I'll use the Fabrifix, simply because it needs to make, I need to make sure it has a secure hold. Otherwise, it's going to keep on, the opening and the closing of it will keep on lifting that a bit, and it eventually will tear away. And that is not what we want. So there we go. And what happened to that paper clip? Here it is. And I'm going to just use the paper clip right here. Boom. Could also, that's another way you can close it, is by using a paper clip. So there we go. So we have our little wallet. Now, what this would look like in a journal, in a journal. In a journal. In a journal. I'm just going to get out a book. Oh my gosh. Here, let's whip out the Anna Green Gables book. Obviously, these pages are bigger, but it would be down here in a pocket. Or like I said, you can clip it onto the side. Something like this would be a standalone, although it doesn't have to be a standalone. I mean, you could also glue this into a journal if you want, right? You can glue that down and have it its own little journal, a journal in a journal. Any way you want to do it. You are the master of your domain. Well, I hope this gave you a couple of ideas on what you can do with some of that 6x6 paper that you have laying around, your paper pads. This is Karynjean from Ex Libris Crafts. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Let your imagination take you to marvelous places. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.